Cyclone Freddy has continued to intensify, and now, by our analysis, has winds of 65 miles per hour and a pressure of 989 millibars. It is still moving to the south-southwest at 7 miles per hour, although the intensity and forecast and everything else is what we're about to look at. So, looking where Darian is, Freddy. Sorry, I went on a rant about Cyclone Darian on the update a few hours ago. I went on a rant about Cyclone Darian. Anyway, Freddy, not Darian. Cyclone Freddy. There are no tropical storm watches. There are no watches and warnings because it is about like right here. So it is in the middle of absolutely nowhere. Here is rainfall. A little bit of that rainfall does extend into land into Indonesia, but the very highest they're gonna get is maybe an inch. Maybe an inch. Out to sea, though, rainfall is going to be a significant issue. Well, it's not going to hit anywhere. Rainfall is going to be significant out to sea, up to about 24 to 25 inches, which is in the pink zone right there. And here is our current forecast. The large numbers are the 1 day intervals. The small numbers are the 12-hour intervals. So as you can see, that big storm logo is where it is right now. That is not a 1 day forecast from now. That is the current location. But as you can see, we are predicting a Category 4 in about 2.5 days, but we are expecting it to reach cyclone status pretty soon. Very soon. And unless it becomes a cyclone at around midnight, we're going to be here until it does hit Cat 1. Because it's Monday, I'm still in school. I have school in the morning. But anyway, unless it hits Cat 1 around like midnight, we're here until it hits Cat 1. Here are our strength probabilities. It is already a tropical storm with a very high chance of becoming a Category 1 cyclone. High chances of Category 2, not as high, but still high chances for Category 3. Medium chances for Category 4. And, as always, low chance for Category 5. So, this is Freddy on the satellite, and we will be spending plenty of time. Excuse me. We'll be spending plenty of time talking about it. It is just me here. Just me, Braylon. Daniel and Ian are not joining us. No one's joining us. It's just me. So you're just dealing with me. But so this is the official forecast for Freddy. That's a Category 4 on the Australian scale. It's 120 miles an hour. That's still up there approaching Category 4. That's mid-range Category 3. That's still getting pretty up there. And also, I do want to note Invest 94S to its west over here, which has a medium chance of development. I think it's officially at 50%. And then there is an area of interest over here, which we're really looking at becoming a strong storm. Medium chance of formation, but once we look at the winds, it just takes us to a whole different place. But here is Freddy. As you can see, wind field is relatively small. Yeah, pretty small. So, impacts are going to be very limited, if at all. If there's impacts, it's going to be minimal, if at all. Let's go ahead and play this. Turn on that. As you can see, getting very strong. Right there. I just want to officially hit cyclone status. But look at that. That's just a ring of uniform right there. Also, I turned on the wind gusts because that'll be more accurate for the actual wind speed. The wind speed is just like what the recorded wind speed on the ground is. The wind gusts are going to be closer to what the actual wind speed in the clouds are recorded at. That's why I have wind gusts turned on. But right there, right before it peaks is obviously when we're going to pause it because that's when it's going to be the strongest. Already though, that's pretty strong. 90 miles an hour right there. Approaching that's actually 98, which would round up to 100. So that's actually a Category 2 at that point. And then obviously right before it becomes Category 3, When it becomes a Category 3, it's, yeah, right here is when it becomes a Category 3. Yeah, one frame. Um, don't know what you guys think, but I'm pretty sure that that's fairly, very, very, very strong. Also, do want to point out something. This is definitely a tropical cyclone. Because, look, it's got convection around it. And then, right here before it peaks is when I'm going to pause it. And look at that, reaching into white, which is not something you see common. Normally you see bright yellow at the peak. No, it is white. You see that? That is white. That is 110 miles an hour. That's 120 by them. We're gonna actually go right here. That's 106, which would round down to 105. If you're not including the 5, that would round up to 110, but still. Um, yeah, that's a pretty strong storm. And we're gonna take a look at pressure too, because pressure is something I'm concerned about. So, Category 4 by our estimates. So, we're going to lower this by about 10 or 15 millibars from the official. Actually, never mind. We probably won't. I don't want a 945 millibar storm. But if you I actually want to point out something. Up here in, like, Asia and stuff, look how high the air pressure is. Over where I live, obviously, it's much lower. It's it's in the 1020s where I live. Yeah, 1024. So yeah, that's just average for the central United States. But Freddy is what we're here to talk about. 957. So, oh, that's not what I meant to do. Normally I just type in trop and then it just pulls up GFS. Yep, just does that. Forecast models. Indian Ocean. There was something I was wanting to point out. After Freddy, that area of interest, one second. This one right here, that's been taking a very strange track. I haven't actually looked at the full track, but my god, that's strange. So it's this one right here. Might be a new one, I don't 100% know. But it ends up becoming an extremely powerful storm, and there's one right here too. This ended up becoming a strong storm. That's already a Category 3 right there, and then it just defies the odds. That's 935 millibars. You see that? 933 millibars of peak intensity right there. And then there's two strong ones right behind it. The pressure isn't listed for that one, but that's probably around the 950s. Never mind. But this one right here is, excuse me, that's down into the 950s right there. And then it just plows into Madagascar right there. With the pressure in probably the 960s, which would be a Category 2 or 3. Last time that area got a storm of that magnitude, I'm trying to think when the last time that happened was. It didn't happen in 22. Last year, though, Madagascar did get hit extremely hard. It wasn't really northern Madagascar. It was central and southern Madagascar that got hit really hard. Central and southern, wasn't northern. Last time a storm, if that were to come to fruition, impact would be very severe. Last time I can think of something that severe would be 2 weeks ago in the form of Cyclone Chaniso. But we're not here to talk about Chaniso, because Chaniso's dead. No imagery down here, but it's like somewhere around here. It's in Antarctica right now. Well, what remains of it at least. And then the storm and then it actually comes back out onto the coast and just, yeah. But yeah, so obviously we're gonna take a look at the rest of the basins because Western Pacific season technically never ends. Technically, it's forever going. So technically, right now we could technically be in one of the 18. Never mind. But for the most part, the Western Pacific does look fairly quiet. We did have that area of interest of the Philippines about a month ago. Nothing. We've had two areas of interest. We had that one of the Philippines about a month ago, as I said. Then we had one about 2 weeks ago in the, uh, whatever this is. Whatever body of water that is. I don't know what it's called. But that might be a tropical cyclone right there. Which would be not the greatest news. Yep, that's cyclone in the Philippines. Still, we, uh, no, we don't. Never mind. Um, but the Western Pacific for the last multiple years has been very inactive. Not very, but it has been inactive. Not really inactive either, but below average is a good term. 2020, all three of the past years have featured strong storms and extremely impactful storms. Uh, all three of the seasons have been below average, though. 2020 was Goni. That right there is equivalent to 195 miles an hour. Do I need to say much else? Also, when you look at the satellite image of Goni, just. Yeah. That's Goni about to make landfall. But yes, Goni was extremely impactful. It was extremely powerful. 195 miles an hour. No, 195 miles an hour. 882 millibars, I think, is the official estimate. No, let me check. 195 miles an hour. 879 millibars from us. That is our official recognition of Typhoon Goni. Then 2021 just had a multitude. You had four Cat 5s. Two of them were very high end. Two of them were low end. But of the two that were high end, neither of them were severe. One of the low end didn't even hit land, and then the other one was really, really bad. So we're going to start off in 2021 at the beginning of the year. Typhoon Surigay. So our official estimate is 190 miles an hour and a pressure of 888 millibars. That's our official estimate for it. Even though officially right there it says 895. Yeah, that's official. 895, which is still a sub 900 storm. That is still a very powerful storm. Also, Surigay looked amazing on satellite. If you look at some of the pictures from like Surigay's peak intensity, like right here, it says right here that Vietnam prepared for Typhoon Surigay. If you look at Typhoon Surigay's track, I love how Vietnam was acting like, oh my god, this is gonna be such a big situation. If you look at Surigay's track, Surigay went nowhere near Vietnam. But anyway, so officially Zoom Earth, which is what I used, goes with 195 miles an hour, 882 millibars. That's a bit of a stretch. 195 miles an hour is a stretch. 882 is even more. Because if that were to come, because if that were to actually happen, that would be one of the strongest storms to ever happen on the planet. Also, you can't really see it, but here's Surigay's eye. Surigay just looked amazing at peak intensity. Nope, that's not what I meant to do. Like, Typhoon Surigay at peak intensity was beautiful. It was a beautiful storm. This was an official Force 13 prediction right here. It kind of took that track, if you look at it. It kind of took that track up until when it got on board with, like, Hainan. It kind of took that track. But, like, I'm going to try and find a picture of Typhoon Surigay at peak. That is Typhoon Surigay at peak intensity. Is that Typhoon Surigay? Because that says deadly typhoon blows near Philippines. Deadly is not a good term to use for Surigay. I feel like when people see a really strong storm, they immediately put the term deadly on it. which doesn't make sense. Surrogate did not kill that many people. Now, obviously, Surrogate would have killed a lot of people if it made landfall at its peak intensity. That would be officially, not by us, but officially, that would be the strongest that would be the strongest landfall in the Philippines since Typhoon Haiyan, maybe even ever. If it made landfall at its peak intensity, it didn't make landfall at all. Obviously, it still came near the Philippines as a Category 5, up to a 4 though, and it was a Category 4 for a while. It just rode up the Philippine coast. But Surrogate was a beautiful storm at peak intensity, just uniform storm. That is a wind map from windy.com. That is perfect. That is a perfect storm right there. Surrogate is a textbook example of a perfect storm. But anyway, so the second Cat 5 of that year was Shantou, which you've probably heard me talk about at some point or another. Shantou is one of my favorite storms. That is Typhoon Shantou at peak intensity right there. One second. So Shantou was a very strong storm too. Winds were not quite at Surrogate level, but approaching it. It was about 180 to 185 miles an hour. Obviously, our official estimate for Surrogate is 190. So not quite at Surrogate level, but approaching it. And Shantou was not a sub 900 storm. If we fast forward to September, here's Shantou's track. So 180 miles an hour, 902 millibars from Zoom Earth. That's around what I think that is actually our official. I think that's our estimate too. 180 miles an hour, 902. Officially, it's 180, 905. I think I'll have to check that, but I think it's 180, 905. Or 910 or something like that. But Shantou was not very impactful. It did blow through these islands. It did make landfall in the Batanes Islands as a Category 5. But it did not cause that much damage. If you look at it, it only caused $30 million in damage, and it actually did not kill anyone. For as strong as Shantou was, that's very impressive. That it didn't kill anyone, which is also very good news. If you look at a picture of Typhoon Shantou from its... There's been a lot of different Super Typhoon Shantous before. The name Shantou has been used a lot. I don't even think it got retired. That's kind of what Shantou looked like. That right there is Typhoon Shantou at peak intensity. I can tell you that right now. That is Typhoon Shantou at peak intensity. But I remember tracking Shantou, or Chantou, however it's pronounced, Chantou or Shantou. I pronounce it Shantou. That's officially how you spell it right there. But Shantou, again, was a beautiful storm. It had a perfectly circular eye, which is not very common. And Shantou just didn't cause a lot of impacts, which is good news. And then there was Typhoon Mindul. So Mindul was like two weeks, maybe even less than that after Shantou. Yep, there's Mindul. Go way up here. 160 miles an hour, 916 from Zoom Earth. I believe officially it's a bit stronger than that. I believe officially it is 165, 915. Still, Mindul was a Category 5. So it was not to be trifled with. I don't know how it did get a Philippine name. Like, look how close it was to the Philippines. It should have gotten a Philippine name. Mindul is another one that I remember tracking. Faint memories of. But there's not much to say about Mindul. It is the one Cat 5 of the lower end that I was talking about that did not affect land in 2021. But then we move on to December. Oh, that's a Nieto right there. Nieto was not a Category 5, but I do want to point it out because Nieto was a very strong storm. Or Nieto, however it's pronounced. Because I remember I was in school, got picked up by my grandfather, and Nieto was a tropical storm when I went to school that morning. That I'd check up on it when I get in his car, and then I'm like, holy Jesus, it's a Category 4. Tells you what rapid intensification can do. Actually, it might have been Category 1. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was a Category 1, maybe 2. But it was a super typhoon. Nieto was. So there were 5 super typhoons in 2021, 4 Category 5s. Nieto was the one that was not a Category 5. And then the oh so dreaded Typhoon Rai. Rai. Where to start with Rai? 175 miles an hour, 908 millibars at peak intensity from Zoom Earth. That is similar to our estimate. Our estimate is 175, 910. And it made landfall on this island right here, as you can see. Very near to Category 5, if not actually a Category 5. If it was a Category 5, it was very near it. But Rai was a Category 5. Philippine name is Odette. And Rai was the... Actually, no, Mindul. I remember Mindul's official estimate. Mindul's was 165, 908. I thought it was 915, but no. It was 908. Rai, though. Rai was the most impactful storm of 2021 worldwide. That's saying a lot when you had storms like Hurricane Ida in 2021. When you had Hurricane Ida, yeah. You go back here, you go back to August. That's Hurricane Ida right there. Anyway, back to December. Rai, though. Rai. This kind of just turned into a 2021 history. But Rai was the most impactful storm of 2021, even though it was not necessarily the strongest. The strongest storm worldwide in 2021, I think it's pretty obvious after all the information I've given. It was Surigay. But Rai was the deadliest and I believe one of the costliest of 2021 as well. Which is saying something considering it's the Pacific. Anyway, so Rai caused $1.6 billion in damage. And in 2021, the record for that year, well, not record, for 2021, the most damaging storm was Ida. That was 75.5 billion. And there were a few after that, but I think Rai was right behind all of them. Main reason Rai is worth mentioning, other than the fact that it is one of the costliest Pacific typhoons on record and the 4th costliest Philippine typhoon on record, is Rai's death toll. Rai killed upwards of 600 to 700 people. 600 to 700. Speaking of deadly natural disasters, there was an earthquake in Turkey this morning, of like midnight, that killed the death toll at like 3,000 people right now. I don't think that's gonna get beat by a tropical cyclone this year, unless we get like a Typhoon Haiyan or something. But yeah. So Rai was the worst of all the Cat 5s in 2021, and then all of the Cat 5s in 2022, officially Ian is no longer a Category 5 by our estimate. Every single Cat 5 in 2022 was in the Western Pacific. So let's see, we go to August. Keep in mind, all 3 of these seasons were inactive. If you've been watching DRHT since the very start, you know what storm I'm about to say. August 22nd was our first tropical weather bulletin. 4 days after, I think, maybe, okay. 2 days, 6 days after we started, we got the terror that would become Super Typhoon Hinamnor. Yes, so Hinamnor was not very good. Officially, Like, also, you can see just how small Hinamnor's influence was as well. Hinamnor was very, very small until it got north, and then it was massive. But Hinamnor was very compact. It was very strong. Officially by Zoom Earth right there, that is 160 miles an hour, 915 millibars. Our estimate is higher in both. Well, actually, we both agree on pressure. The 915 millibars for pressure, we both agree on that. We, however, put Hinamnor at 175 miles per hour and not 160 because of the satellite. And Hinamnor, Hinamnor was textbook. It was, again, it was a beautiful storm at peak intensity. It was just amazing to look at. If you just look at some of the images of Typhoon Hinamnor at peak intensity, that's when Hinamnor was a Category 4 right there. That looks like an animated picture. If you take a look at Typhoon Hinamnor at its peak intensity, at its first peak, because most of the pictures you're going to find were at its second peak. If you find a picture of Hinamnor at its first peak, it was beautiful. But this was Typhoon Hinamnor at its second peak. It still was very compact and very good looking at its second peak. But its first peak was the one that set everything. This isn't even Typhoon Hinamnor. That says Typhoon Moranti. That's not even Typhoon Moranti. That's Typhoon Usagi. But that is a side view of Hinamnor at its first peak intensity. If you want to find a picture of Hinamnor at its first peak, once I find one. There you go. That's Typhoon Hinamnor at its first peak intensity. A perfectly circular eye. Very compact and small. Hinamnor just blew it once again. This isn't even a typhoon. This isn't even a typhoon. Don't lie to you. That's Hurricane Katrina. That's Hurricane Katrina. I'm not lying. That is actually Hurricane Katrina. And then the second Cat 5 of 2022 was, and again, if you've been with the RHC for a while, you're going to know this one, Nanmadol. Nanmadol isn't even officially a Category 5, by the way, if you didn't know that. So, Nanmadol officially from Zoom Earth is 155 miles per hour, 917 millibars. Officially, though, it is at 155 miles an hour, 910 millibars. We agree with the officials on the 910 millibars. We do not agree with the 155 miles an hour, though. We have put Nanmadol at 165 miles per hour. Also, again, if you just take a look at some images of Nanmadol at its peak intensity, it was very good looking. Almost, again, textbook. There's been a lot of strong Typhoon Nanmadols. Like, every time you get the name Nanmadol, it's always a strong storm. But that is Typhoon Nanmadol at peak intensity. That is more of a outward zoom, so you can't really see it as much. But that is a frontal zoom. That is Typhoon Nanmadol at its peak intensity right there. As I said, beautiful storm. And Nanmadol was one of two storms, the other being Hinamnor, to cause over $1 billion in damage in 2022. In the Pacific, obviously, because in the Atlantic we got some records for damage totals. Hurricane Ian flashbacks. And that's another thing. I wish we'd cover Hurricane Ian more than we did. I really wish we did, because Ian was so impactful. If you haven't checked the official damage total right now, last I saw it was $113 billion. But, the one, again, if you've been with TRHC for a long time, this is the one we far overestimated at first. Typhoon Noru. This is the one we estimated Noru far by a long shot. That is Typhoon Noru at peak intensity right there. Officially, this isn't officially. Officially, it's 160 miles an hour, but weirdly 940 millibars For as good as Noru looked, it did not deserve 940 millibars. And what I want to say, and I can't believe I was so stupid to do this, after Noru, well, actually, during a Typhoon Noru, we put it at 195 miles an hour, 884 millibars, and I still regret doing that. Obviously, we have significantly lowered it. Now our estimate is 165 miles an hour, 917 millibars, which is much more reasonable. 160, 165 miles an hour is much more reasonable than 195. But yeah, all three of the Cat 5s last year were extremely impactful. Noru was the strongest landfalling one. Hinam Noru was the... No. Noru was the most economically, like, structurally impactful. Hinam Noru was the most, like, weather impactful. And Namadol was, like, straight damage. Just damage everywhere. That's what Namadol was. But also, Zoom Earth also is not stupid like we were. Typhoon Noru, they put it 160 miles an hour and 919 millibars, which I'd say is a bit low. Force 13, though, they were going crazy or something. They were going with like 175, I think? Maybe 180, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure they were going with 175, though, and a pressure that was like around 910. It was like 910, 912. But yeah. Noru was a strong storm. And then it intensified. But anyway, let's get back to the main focus of this live stream being Cyclone Freddy. Anyway, after all that ranting, I think we're gonna go on a break for now. I'm gonna go on a break at least. So we are officially going to be on break now for the next few minutes. we're back from break, and let's go ahead and refresh this. So, yep, if you haven't noticed already, Daria is now a Category 1 officially. Officially, and by us now. 75 miles an hour, 990 millibars was the official. We're going slightly stronger, 75 miles an hour, 986. Still movements like that. Still, yeah. But still, all this is still the same. Forecast hasn't really changed. We forgot to change this. And here is strength probability. We are now giving it a 80% chance of Category 3, a 70% chance of Category 4, and now a 15% chance of Category 5. That's still a low chance, mind you. Let me make sure that that's actually accurate. There you go. So that's actually on the bar of the 100. But there you go. So it is now Category 1. I said we were going to be here until it reached Cat 1. I know this stream probably was not very long. And most of it was a rant about other storms. Let me check how long this stream actually has been running. Because I think it's been less than an hour, actually. Let me check. Also, we will be replying to comments. This is stuff Daniel's been watching, don't worry. Wrong channel. 39 minutes. So this was not a very long stream at all. Yeah, this stream's gonna end off here. I said we were only gonna be here until Freddy reached Cat 1. It's at Cat 1 now. It's not gonna say that on here. This, especially this. It's not saying that on here yet. It's because this hasn't had time to update. Also, they only release updates at 7 and 1 on either AM or PM, and we did not get a 7 PM advisory, so you will have to wait till 1 AM for that, or maybe even 7 AM. We have a new area of interest designated. Down here. Oh, wait. Oh, this has already died. Okay. Because I was about to say, that's very far south. This was on the 4th. Okay. That's very far south for an area of interest. Also, I've never seen brown clouds before. Have you guys ever seen brown clouds on a satellite before? Yeah, if you want to take a look at a pressure-wide map right now, be my guest. Here you go. This is your pressure-wide map right now. Freddy, 990 millibars, 989. It's not awfully far from the official and from us. This is actually a storm that affected me personally a couple days ago, with heavy rain, because I live in Georgia. Most of you guys probably know that. I live in Georgia. Let's just find where I live. There we go. So here's where I live, Villa Rica. And if we go way back, a couple days ago, I got hit around there, okay? I got hit by some pretty heavy rain a couple days ago. It might have just been clouds. I don't remember if it was rain or not. I can't honestly remember. There's California getting more rain. Yeah. It's not really much. Let's check. Oh. Florida East Coast got a little bit, though. That's a lot of rain. That was this morning, but still. 1.2 inches an hour. That's a lot of rain. Take a look at that now, though. It's much lower. If you take a look, yeah, 840. 840, yeah, much lower now. Let's check, though. Let's see. Will Braylon or Daniel, because Daniel lives in a similar location. Very light rain. Yeah, I know. 0.004 inches an hour. How long would that take? God, it would take 2.5 hours just to get zero point 0.1 inches, which means it would take 25 hours to get 1 inch. That's honestly hilarious to think about. I'm pretty sure 2 inches of snow an hour is not moderate. Trust me, I got hit with snow that hard back in 2017. Let's see. What's the heaviest area of snow? I think I found it. Oh, that's rain. It's not snow. That's lame. I like snow. I like snow. How is that even rain that far north? What's the temperature? How is that even rain? Let's see, it's right there. Temperature. Oh, it's just barely warm enough. Strangely, Greenland is not getting much snow. I mean, zero point 0.4 inches an hour. Anyway, I'm not a snow chaser. Oh, wildfires up here. I mean, yeah, I care. Let's see, but I'm pretty sure 1.9 inches of snow an hour is not moderate. I don't, but either way. What do I know? I'm only a weather professional. But anyway, I got. Let's see. I just want to do something real quick. I'm just gonna do this because it's stupid. Let's see. Category 10,000. Winds of 1,000,000 miles per hour. Pressure. Negative 1,000 millibars. I just wanted to do that because it was stupid. Playing with the inspect thing is so funny. It's so funny. And just like this. Guys, watch. Our viewers are about to skyrocket. Watch. See, I told you it was gonna sky. You can play with the inspect mode so much, and it's so funny. Can you guys even see my screen? Have you guys been able to see my screen for the entire stream? Yeah, just how small Hinamnor's influence. You guys haven't been able to see my screen for this entire stream. Maybe I should have checked that first. Display. Okay, there we go. I forgot to put on the display. Anyway, playing with the inspect mode is so funny. Look at that. I made Freddy a category 10,000 with winds of 1,000,000 miles per hour and a pressure of negative 1,000 millibars. I'm sorry you guys haven't been able to watch just 45 minutes of stuff. But anyway, watch. Our subscribers are about to skyrocket. Watch. What the frick? Why did it not edit? $29. Let's see, I'm gonna copy that number. I don't know if you guys can actually see this right now. We're so popular! Daniel, we struck it rich! We have 1,824,014,651 subscribers. I honestly wish I had that many subscribers. I guarantee you right now, some of these like videos are from me, okay? Like, this is from me. The Full Metal Alchemist OP4, because that song is amazing. This is a video. Let's see. Let's find ones that were mine. It's the top one right there. This. This. Not very many of these. Also, I don't get how Daniel likes these. They're not funny. I've watched all of them. They're not funny whatsoever. Anyway, I'm not trying to get copyrighted, so I'm not playing any of these videos for you guys. But anyway, listen to Full Metal Alchemist OP4. Just Google FMAB period. Because that's the name of the song. Or just OP4. Because that's the song. It's a very good song. I do recommend it. But anyway, since you guys haven't been able to see this, here's Freddy and the intensity. I just got this monitor. Why is there already stuff on it? Sorry, there was something on my monitor screen. I just freaking got this monitor. How is it already dirty? I love my PC and my monitor. But anyways, so real quick, I gotta send my girlfriend a good night text, or else she's gonna scream at me tomorrow. All right, there we go. Yeah, so here we go. Cyclone Freddy. Cyclone Freddy, now a whatever number that is. Let's see. What would that be? That'd be 100, 100,000, 100 million, 100 billion, 100 trillion, 100 quadrillion, 58 quintillion. Cyclone Freddy, now a category 58 quintillion, 245 trillion, 254 billion, 632 million. Whatever. Anyway, so Cyclone Freddy. Anyway, let's see. That'd be 100,000. That'd be 100,000, 100 million, 100 billion, 100 trillion, 100. No, and that'd be 100 quadrillion. So this would be 100 quintillion. Cyclone Freddy, now category 58 quintillion, 245 quadrillion, 254 trillion, 632 billion, 456 million, 755,446. Thank God that category does not exist. Let's see, you'd have to take that number and then multiply, give or take about 25 for every category. So you'd have whatever number that is for wind speed, and the pressure would definitely be in the negatives. Anyway, let's just reduce that down to the actual. Messing with stuff is so fun. If you haven't done it, I recommend it. Anyway, I'm gonna refresh this. Yeah. Messing with things is funny. Yeah. Messing with things is so funny. Anyway, this has been like 10 minutes of me just goofing off. I'm sorry you guys couldn't see the screen for half of the entire thing, because, yeah. Yeah, I know. So, yep, I recommend watching this song. It's very, very good. It is in Japanese, so if you can't hear, if you don't know Japanese, you're not gonna understand what they're saying. I don't know Japanese. It's a great song because of the tempo and the music. and just the overall pace of it and how it goes really well with the anime. Yeah, really good. But anyway, like, subscribe, goodbye. I hope you enjoy.